Hello, and welcome back to Two Chapters a Day. Today we are talking about chapters 27 and 28 of The Eye of the World. And a quick recap of what happened in the last chapters. We left um, Perrin and Egwene with the Tinkers and also the Wolfman. And then we left Mat and Rand running for their literal lives from Whitebridge towards Camelin. And I think Tom Maryland's dead. Poor Tom. So this chapter, chapter 27, picks up with Perrin and Egwene again. And in it, we learn that Perrin is he's really starting to get close to these wolves. So there's like this whole little bit where he it starts off talking about like how he can feel like what the wolves are feeling. And then throughout this little monologue, it changes and shifts to not him thinking about how the wolves are thinking, but actually having these thoughts that the wolves are having themselves. So I think that's really interesting, and I'm anxious to see how that's going to play out, what the connection with Perrin and this like animalistic side is. Then we also have Egwene, who we don't see a whole lot in this chapter, but she's like seemingly enamored with this guy Aram, and that's kind of it for her. So one of the important things in this chapter, at least I think it's important, is that we see Perrin start to dream about the Dark One again. You'll remember in chapter 25, or maybe it was 24, 23-ish, somewhere in there, he explicitly states that he has not been having dreams of the Dark One and said he's been dreaming about wolves. But then that changes in this chapter, and he dreams about the Dark One, and it's this like really weird, violent dream in which the Dark One like strikes him, and this raven like comes and like really screws up his face. And so in his dream, he's in pain and he's bleeding. But when he wakes up, he's fine. Nothing is amiss. So that's different than when Rand dreams about the Dark One. When Rand dreams about the Dark One and he like pricks his finger on a thorn bush, it has actually happened in real life and he wakes up bleeding. And so the fact that what's happening to Perrin in the dream is not actually happening to him in real life, I think is something to make a note of and remember. But we'll see. So he wakes up from this dream, like screaming, and Elias, the Wolfman, is there. And basically, he and the leader of this Tinker clan say, "Okay, time for us to go. We're going to go our separate ways and continue our journey." So Egwene, Elias, and Perrin all pack up and they head out. Then in chapter 28, we pick back up with Lan, Moiraine, and Nynaeve. Completely kind of forgot about them. But we meet back up with them, and what do you know? They are entering into Whitebridge. And as they get there, it's yikes. It's a disaster. So the White Bridge that they encounter is very different than the White Bridge that we encountered along with Tom and Mat and Rand just a few chapters ago. Um, when they get there, they are welcomed by like burning buildings and chaos in the town, and nobody either nobody knows what happened, or they know what happened and nobody will tell them what happened for real. But I think it's the first one that it's nobody really knows what happened in this town. There's lots of different stories flying around as to why these homes and businesses are burned, but yeah, it reads like half the town's gone. So they continue on to the inn, the very same inn that Rand, Tom, and Mat were at previously. And they are kind of forming their game plan. And Moraine says that what they're going to do is they're going to go north because she can sense that the boy with the coin, who we know as Perrin, who still has his coin, is somewhere north of them. And so Nynaeva's like, well, if he has his coin, why don't we go after the ones that don't have their coins? And Moraine explains that she can sense that they were there, even though they don't have their coins. And she can sense that they are still alive because she can feel like the traces of their leftover emotions and that they fled very afraid from where they currently are, Whitebridge. So she was like, it makes more sense to go find the boy that we know where he is rather than the boys that we don't know where they are, but we know they're alive and they've been traveling for 2 days. Like, who knows how far they could have gone in 2 days? And we don't know in what direction they could have gone. We know where this one is, so we're going to go after him. So that's kind of where this chapter ends, is they are going after Perrin, unknowingly, but Perrin. And I'm hoping that in a chapter or two, they'll all meet up in Camelin, but I kind of doubt it. So, a couple things about this little section. I was surprised when it came time for Perrin and Egwene to leave that Egwene did. I fully expected the way things were going in this chapter and their last chapter that she was either going to stay behind with Aram, who she seems to like really have a fondness for, or either he was going to go with them. So I was surprised when neither of those things happened. That being said, I don't think we've seen the last of him or the Tinkers. Um, and kind of on that note, it just made me laugh when at the very end of chapter 27, Egwene was telling Perrin why she and Isla, Aaron's grandmother, had been talking so much. And she's like, oh, she's teaching me what I need to be. She's teaching me what I need to know about being a woman. And Perrin is like, well, men don't learn about how to be a man. We just are. And Eliza's like, oh, well, that's why you're so bad at it. It just was lighthearted and made me laugh. And it was nice. It kind of broke up what has felt like a very serious couple of chapters. So I appreciated that. I thought it was funny. Um, that's really it for these two chapters, kind of short and sweet. And tomorrow we're on to chapter 29 and 30. All right. Thanks for watching and let me know what you think in the comments down below.